Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Android App Arena is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This is Android App Arena, episode 98 for Wednesday, May 18th, 2016. System tweaks. This episode of Android App Arena is brought to you by TunnelBear. TunnelBear is the simple privacy app that makes it easy to browse privately and enjoy a more open internet. To learn more and get your free TunnelBear, visit trytunnelbear.com/arena. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Android App Arena. I'm your host, Jason Howell. Like a tiny little robot in your pocket, that Android device is customizable to an impressive degree. It's a big selling point for lots of technology nerds like myself because it allows me to get under the hood, make my device respond in subtle but powerful ways. So it is once again time to take a look at a few apps that you can use to tweak your system to become the Voltron of awesomeness, tailored to your needs. Why waste any time here? Let's take a look at this week's roundup. Sometimes the customizations we want to make on our system are tied to the apps that we use the most. For example, how many times have I been laying down reading something on my phone only to have the screen suddenly interpret my horizontal angle as a reason to switch the view to landscape? My preference might be to lock certain apps into a portrait view if they don't offer that customization by default. Enter the app called Rotation Orientation Manager. This app is like your standard stock rotation controls, but on steroids. And it works on your global rotation preferences as well as on a per app basis. First, globally, I can select from this menu to lock my device into a rotation with a simple tap. Forced portrait or forced landscape, or even reverse portrait if I need things to be upside down for whatever reason. Now down below here, I can select rotate on demand, and that includes a notification for those controls from wherever I happen to be. That's kind of good for on-the-fly rotation changes. In fact, I'll go ahead and pull down the notification shade, and I'm shown which app is currently being controlled by the app. I can now assign a custom rotation for that app that goes counter to the global setting. In the per app settings, I get a view of every app that's installed on the device where I can tweak their defaults one by one. And there are a few widgets as well if you'd rather have those options on your home screen, all laid out in a pretty sort of way. Rotation Orientation Manager is deep. Find it for free with a pro version for 99 cents inside the app. Now, speaking of per app customizations, how about volume level? Sometimes I forget to adjust my audio level before launching an app and I'm suddenly slammed with ear-piercing music. That's not too handy if it's late at night and I don't want to wake up the house. The app called App Volume Control gives me the ability to make changes to default volume levels for the apps on my device. I find YouTube to be a big offender here, especially because it starts to play, and with my YouTube Red account, it'll continue to play in the background, even when I back out of it to the home screen in a panic. Inside App Volume Control, I'll find YouTube in the list of apps installed on my device, and I'm given tons of customization options for behavior when speaker is set as the output. But there's also headset and Bluetooth audio settings to control in here. I'm going to go ahead and set a volume default for the speaker when I'm starting the YouTube app. I'll toggle media and set that to around 25%. If I want, I can also adjust the volume settings of the ringer, the alarm, notifications, and system alerts. You can see how things can get super customized as you dig deeper. Now, I'll switch over to set what happens when I close the YouTube app. Here, it's set to restore the old volume, setting the media playback volume where it was before I launched YouTube. Now I'll go ahead and save that and turn my media volume all the way up to demonstrate. You see it? Now I'll launch YouTube and I get that little toast message that volume has been set. And to prove it here, look at the volume controls. Nice, eh? Now when I tap home, it's going to return to the full volume again, as you can see. This is going to save me some headaches at night, I know it. Find App Volume Control for free with a pro version for 99 cents in the Play Store now. OEMs often alter their devices to add functionality that's not already baked into the core of Android. One modification made many times over is the detection of a particular shake or movement of the device that will then trigger an event. The Moto X does this when you flick your wrist, it launches the camera app as a result. If you want to play around with your own shake functionality, you'll want to check out Shaker Beta. Under the Gestures menu here, I'll tap the floating action button to add a new gesture. Let's follow the example set by the Moto X. I'm going to set a camera quick launch. I'll name it Camera Quick Launch, of course. Then under Action, I'll select what I want to happen. Here, I'm selecting Open the Camera. And now under Gesture, I'm shown a number of thumbnails that kind of highlight the different motions that can be used as triggers. Shake, setting the phone down with the screen facing down or up, and movement in the X, Y, and Z axis in both upward and downward motions. Those are all your options. Any of those gestures can trigger a different event. Here, I'm going to go ahead and select Shake, and then tap that disk button to save the action. Now, I'll switch on Shaker to activate the service, and here I'm instructed to leave the device on a flat surface for 10 seconds while the device calibrates. I wait 10 seconds, and at the end of that, I'm instructed to use my device. And now, I'll turn off the display and give the phone a solid single shake, and voila, my camera app is launched. Let your imagination run wild and get to customizing the motion of your device with Shaker Beta in the Play Store for free. Per app settings can be super powerful, but as I'm sure you can understand, you can also find yourself deep in the weeds when you're setting them up. The best approach is to keep everything on default and only make specific changes to those apps that need it. There's the temptation to go through every single app and make a determination during setup as to how you want those to be dialed in, but you could make a decision that confuses you later on. So leave them be for now, and then once you find an app that does something funky, that can be cleaned up by one of these apps, you dive into the settings then, make the change, and carry on with your life, knowing that you are one of the smartest Android nerds out there. Welcome to the club. All right, before we move on, let's thank the sponsor of today's episode, and that's TunnelBear. TunnelBear is the simple privacy app that provides you with a secure and private connection to enjoy a more open internet. TunnelBear lets you bypass all of the annoying details that typically come when using a VPN for personal use. It can get very confusing. There's no need to mess around with port configurations, DNS, or any other of those confusing router settings. TunnelBear actually handles all of that in the background. It's incredibly easy to use. You just choose a country in the app, turn TunnelBear on, and watch as your bear tunnels your internet connection to your new location. It's quick and easy to get started with TunnelBear. You'll get 500 megs of free data every single month, and with no credit card required for that. When TunnelBear is turned on, your connection is actually secured with AES 256-bit encryption. It's the strongest encryption. You can bypass geo-blocking and hide your location. Your online activity is shielded from prying third parties, hackers, and other local networks. TunnelBear also prevents your internet service provider from monitoring all of your online activity. They also have a top-rated privacy policy and do not log user activity. Tunnel to 20 different countries and use the internet as if you're in another country. That's what it's all about. Get your free TunnelBear now at trytunnelbear.com/arena. TunnelBear is the simple privacy app for mobile and desktop browsing, and we want you to check it out. Go to trytunnelbear.com/arena. You'll get your free account today. And what can I say? It's quick, it's easy. Again, that's trytunnelbear.com/arena, and we thank TunnelBear for their support. All right, up next, we've seen plenty of weather apps, so it can be hard to find something that's very different from the pack, but I found one. It's this week's big app. So last week I took a look at 3 weather apps that you might not have seen before. How about one more? This one is again a bit different as it specializes in hyperlocal weather. It's called Dark Sky, and though it has a free version, the premium version is definitely where it's at. First, for free, what you get is ample enough and comparable to most other weather apps, but with a neat new interface. Up top is the summary of current conditions and projected highs and lows for the day. Below that, the vertical list of hour by hour, and that can be switched to to reflect different data points there. And down at the very bottom, you can check out the weekly forecast as well as a nifty 3D globe with precipitation and temperature projections layered on top. That's all for free. For $2.99 per year, that's a quarter a month basically, you get advanced features like to-the-minute forecasts based on your current location, including weather alerts for rain, so you aren't caught standing outside at the wrong time, literally to the minute. That is super handy. Also, you get a daily summary of weather stats that can be scheduled to land whenever you like, and a host of sharp-looking widgets, including a widget that actually reflects the minute-by-minute forecast of precipitation based on your current location. I haven't seen many weather apps that get this specific on a minute-by-minute basis, so it's definitely a nice differentiator. Find the free version in the Play Store with a $2.99 per year upgrade inside the app. Now, I know some people balk at having to pay a small fee every year, but allow me to step in on my soapbox for a quick moment. Developers spend their time crafting apps. Many times this is their bread and butter. If they sell an app for a one-time fee of 99 cents, users expect unlimited revisions over the course of many years, and that adds up to diminishing returns for developers over time. Basically, working for next to nothing into perpetuity based on that initial 99-cent sale. Over time, that makes no sense. Now, I'm not saying that everything should be subscription-based, but I don't feel bad selecting which developers are worthy of a recurring payment, especially if that app is super important in my daily routine. All I'm saying is consider this next time that you see a buy button. Do you like it? Do you use it? If so, maybe it's worth throwing some money at the person who created it for you. That'll improve the quality of apps going forward by encouraging high-quality development. And that's that. I'll step back down from the soapbox to say thank you for watching this week. Send me your favorite apps and your categories to arena@twit.tv, or you can post those to the subreddit at androidapparena.reddit.com. The show plays live every Wednesday around 5 p.m. Pacific following Tech News Today at twit.tv/live. And the new episode appears later that evening in the feeds and on the show page at twit.tv/arena. That is it, folks. So thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jason Howell, and I'll see you next week in the arena.